Hi guys, it's the Forge Circuit here, and today we're going to be doing a Q&A session with Bobby Skullface, because you guys, asked so nicely. We thought, well, why the hell not, let's do another one. Have you given any thought to what would happen to your collection when you pass on? And is there going to be any up and coming Skullface merch, maybe a action figure?
I keep all my boxes and stuff, and hopefully, if when I pass, my wife can sell it, and make some money if it can benefit her and my family. That's what I would want. If my kids want it, then they're welcome to it, but I don't think they'll want it. Hopefully, my wife can get rid of it and help pay a few bills. Maybe not even have to pay for a funeral. Maybe my toys will pay for my funeral. How ironic would that be? In terms of merchandise, I want to get T-shirts and sweatshirts made. I'm working on it. It's just hard to get it at an affordable price. As far as an action figure, I don't know. I'd be so picky in particular. I'm not sure if I could find one that would meet my standards, but I don't know. I'm looking into a lot of things. I'll leave it at that.
In your opinion, what was worth? Transformers 4, the movie, or Transformers 4, the toys? What are your hypes for Transformers 5?
I don't know. They're both equally terrible. I have a review of Transformers 4 on my channel, so you can feel free to watch that to get my whole insight, but they're not Transformers. Not Transformers as I know them. Prime killing a human by shooting him in the back or whatever, that's not for me. And I don't have any expectations for 5. My expectations are so low, and they still continue to disappoint me. So I don't know. I'm not interested really in Transformers 5, but who knows? I guess it'd be nice to see Quintessons maybe? I don't know. It probably won't be. That's the problem, is that a lot of things you think man, I'd love to see that, but then you see it and you're like, never mind, I don't want to see that. Man, I'd love to see Devastator in a live action film, and then you see Devastator and you're like, I would give anything never to have to look at that again. So I don't know. I don't have any expectations. I guess the movie is worse than the toys, but not by much.
What is your favourite transforming figure that isn't strictly a Transformer, and what reviewer would you do a collaboration with?
I don't think I really care for many transforming toys that aren't Transformers. I guess GoBots by default. I'm interested to see what Bandai does with these GoBots that are coming, but yeah, my toy interests outside of Transformers are non-transforming. I love SH Figuarts Star Wars line, and I love Play Arts Kai DC stuff, and I love Star Wars 3 3/4, the more articulated ones, and I like Marvel Legends and stuff like that. I like a lot of different toy lines, but I'd probably say the SH Figuarts Star Wars and the Play Arts Kai DC stuff is my favorite.
Of the MLP main 6, which is your favourite and why? And please feel free to ask your daughter, a bit of advice on this crucial question.
I don't know. She, I don't really know much about it. I mean, I've watched it because she watches it, but she doesn't really like any of the main 6. She likes Nightmare Moon and Chrysalis and those sorts of characters. She's not really big on the main 6. I guess if she had to pick one, she'd probably pick Pinkie Pie. I don't really like any of them either. I mean, I don't dislike them, I don't hate them or anything. They don't interest me. A Nightmare Moon kind of interests me. She just seems she seems like a bad guy, as bad gets in that show. So I guess if I had to choose one, it would be Nightmare Moon, but only because my daughter loves her.
How would a big Skullface SCU fan go about obtaining a custom Skullface avatar graphic?
I'm not a very computer savvy person, so I don't exactly know what that means, but if that means just a picture as a profile thing or whatever, for whatever social media or whatever, I mean, you feel free to take the one that's on my Facebook or on my Twitter. You can just copy it to your photo library or whatever. You can use that one. If you want a custom one, I guess email me and let me know what you want. I'll work something out with you. You know, I'm an approachable dude.
Who is your favourite comic book character and why?
Definitely Batman. And I'll tell you why. Batman is in my opinion, the ultimate example of human will and determination. And those are just two traits that I admire. Like, you know, never giving up. You know, continuing to push on, being 100% focused on a goal and an objective, and willing to do anything it takes within reason to accomplish that objective is just an admirable trait in my opinion. So that's why I love Batman. Like, he is the ultimate example of human will, and human will is something that I admire.
So why no love for the 200th subscriber? 150 check, 250 check. But here's the question I'll ask. When is a masterpiece figure just too darn expensive for Bobby Skullface?
I try to do the contest as kind of like time and my like energy and efforts allow. So I think the next one will be at 5,000, and then we'll do 10,000, and then we'll work up from there. The contests take a little bit of work on my part, just writing all the names down on the paper and all that stuff. So it's like I like to give back, and most times stuff that I get back is like personal art of mine. So it's like it's more personal between the viewer and me. So like I enjoy doing them. It just takes a lot of effort and energy. So I try to space them out a little bit, and you know, the faster the channel grows, the more I kind of have to distance that space that I allot for them. I think, you know, we've had this discussion before, like my buddies and I think $500 is my cutoff. I think once it goes beyond $500, I've lost all interest. Like, I'm going to be getting that Scorponok, and I'm hoping that puppy is under $500, or it might make me forced to break my will to make toy Scorponok.
What is your biggest regret about being a YouTube reviewer?
I don't know if I have any real regrets other than maybe I would have dealt with a wider range of figures in the very beginning other than just Transformers. And if I'd have been a little bit more internet savvy, you know, because I'm not a big internet guy, but I've had to learn it, and I've learned it fairly quick, I think, in dealing with this stuff. But, you know, I just dealing with, you know, the amount of people and, you know, text communication and stuff like that, like, it sometimes could be a challenge for me. So that would be probably my biggest regret, is just my learning curve. But, you know, you got to learn. So I don't know. I don't really have that many regrets. You know, there's times where I'm like, man, maybe I was too rough on that figure, or, you know, maybe I gave this figure too much of a pass. But you know, those are very specific circumstances, and they're not like overall regrets. Overall, I think I'm pretty happy with what I've done and what I've accomplished. I think that, you know, early on I should have set some boundaries for myself, because when this eats into my family time, it makes things a little uncomfortable at the home front from time to time. So maybe if I would have set some more clear and well-defined boundaries in the very beginning as to how I'm going to handle this in regards to time management with the rest of my responsibilities, that would have helped me. But once again, that's that learning curve. So it would have just been learning the learning curve a little quicker.
Is there anything worse than Dakar Toys Chronos?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. Like, look, like, like that thing is, you know, the thing about that is like that you're talking about a $150 toy. Now, is there a $150 toy that's worse than Chronos? I don't think so. I haven't seen it. You know, and that's the thing. Like, there's plenty of toys that, you know, Hasbro makes plenty of toys that are worse than Chronos, but they're not $150. So you judge it, you know, you got to judge it a little bit differently. Chronos was very expensive for what it was, and that was my anger with it.
What is your #1 pet peeve with third-party figures or official figures?
I don't think this is going to come as any surprise to anyone, but you know, my biggest pet peeve is paint, sloppy paint, and lack of paint. I think that paint can make or break a figure, and those are my things. And if I had to choose #2, it would be an ankle rocker. Like, if you don't have an ankle rocker, you're no good to me as a display piece. So those are my top two. I'm a paint freak. You know, it's my thing. So, and a lot of people write me and say, like, look, you know, I never cared about paint until you started pointing it out. Now it makes a lot of sense. So I'm sorry to have turned people on to that kind of neuroticism, but you know, it is something that sticks out to me like a sore thumb. I can spot it from a mile away. If
you had to pick the worst 5 figures out of your collection, what would they be?
Combiner Wars Minosaur would be #1. X-Transbots Ollie. You know, I don't keep many. I don't keep many poor figures, so. That First Order Trooper from Star Wars Black Series. Fans Projects, Dinobots, all of them would be number 4. Probably my Combiner Wars Blades. He's terrible.
There's so many options with Dinobots right now, which is awesome. But if you had to go with just one company, whose version would you go with?
For me, it's a no-brainer. For me, it's Fans Toys. It's the masterpiece aesthetic with you know, quality and dependability that has been proven time and time again. You know, they don't make a perfect figure, but they get it pretty close. So for me, it's Fans Toys, and it's Fans Toys by a long shot. If you were gonna go chug with a G1 aesthetic, you know, I would go Toy World. If you're gonna go updated chug, I'd go G Creations. If you're gonna go Warper Cybertron, I'd go Planet X and skip Fans Project.
How does your family, friends, and wife feel about your collection of figures and comics? And do they hate it?
You know, I think I think my father. I think my father thinks that, you know, it's a lot of money that I could be investing into, like, my kids' colleges and stuff, and he's right. You know, I mean, we have stuff set up for them for college and so forth. Like, we're not total bums, but you know, I mean, I look at my shelf, like just my top shelf full of combiners and Utopia, and I'm like, man, that could be maybe a semester of college. I mean, at a community college maybe, but you know, so I don't think he doesn't care. I mean, he knows I take care of my responsibilities, but I think that he thinks that I could probably do something a little bit more constructive with my money, and he's probably right. My wife is just kind of like, if you're happy, I'm happy. My friends like think it's funny. Some of them think it's more funny. Like one of my closest friends, this guy Shane, we grew up together. He came over and saw my basement for the first time, and he just walked in and was like, "Wow, this is stupid," you know. So like, you know, it's not for everybody, but I think everybody respects it. Like, everybody in my world respects it. They respect the level of care and attention that I put towards it. So they don't treat it. They don't treat it like a joke, even if they think it's a joke.
Is your daughter really that quick about busting your balls on videos, or do you feed her lines?
She's insanely sharp and insanely quick, my oldest. So sometimes, like, her and I collaborate on stuff. Like, I'll have an idea and we'll talk about it. And like I said, like before, like it's a really cool thing of this is the skits, because they love doing it. So like, we'll like talk about stuff and come up with ideas and back and forth. She'll be like, what if I said this? What if I said that? And how about I'm angry about it? And then I get kind of like, you know, so it's cool. Some of the stuff, a lot of like the punchlines I have prepared for her, but she'll tweak them. You know, she'll be like, I think I would say it like this, or whatever. So it's cool. I really look forward to doing it. Sometimes it's trying. Like, if she's not really in the mood, you know what I mean? Like, she says she's in the mood, and we get down there and start working on it, she's not really in the mood. But it's fun, and it's good. It's something good that we're doing together now, like, which is cool.
Do you ever tell your fans what state you're from?
Yeah, I'm from Maryland, born and raised.
Are you interested in doing a live Ustream like Optimus does?
I'm not a very internet savvy guy, so I don't know what that is or how to do it. But if it was like I'm here for the people, so if it was something that people got together and said they wanted from me, I would do it, as long as I had the capability to do it. If it's like a Google Play or something like that, or whatever, Google Stream, Google Live, whatever that is, I would do it. If you guys wanted to do it, I'm up for it. Just, you know, organize the people, or, you know, people get together and let me know what you want, and we'll do it.
Whenever you go on vacation to like BotCon or TFCon, do you do, you know, reviews for your fans to tell them what's new?
Hopefully you've seen by now, but after I go to every convention, I do a wrap-up video. And then sometimes I do a rant, too, about my experience. So those are a lot of, like, editing work, but they're a lot of fun to put together. So absolutely, I hope you've seen them. If not, I have two or three from TF Cons, and two from Baltimore Comic Con and stuff like that. So give them a look.
Ever thought about doing a review of you just rambling through Transformers figures at Kmart or Walmart or Toys R Us?
Toy hunting videos, no. I haven't thought about doing that. If some people want to see, I'll do it. But you know, it's hard for me to do. The math's hard for me to see. So I'd have to get pretty clever with my editing techniques. And sometimes people look at you a little sideways when you're in the toy aisle with a strange mask on. Other parents kind of frown upon that, I think.
So do you keep any of your boxes?
I keep them, and I'll show them to you right here. So this is my storage room. It's pretty dark in here, so I'm not sure how much of this is going to show up. Let me see if I can get my flashlight out. But this is boxes. You know, toy boxes. And over here. And then another one. So, you know, the more things you own, the more they end up owning you. But you know, it's another one of those things. It becomes a chore. I keep them in case I ever want to sell them. Like I sell some stuff as I get newer stuff, and I can sell it complete. But you got to have the storage space for it. It's its own chore. You know, it's its own thing.
What characters would you like to see introduced into the next Transformers movie?
I don't really want them to touch any characters because they're just going to end up destroying them. But there's always that little voice in the back of my head saying that you would like to see the, you know, so you'd like to see the Stunticons. Tell them you'd like to see the Stunticons. Just because I love the Stunticons, but you know, I'd hate to see them ruined. You know, and turned into, they'd all be Russian maybe, and have and be like stereotypical, like talk about, you know, snow and vodka and things like that. So you know, because that's what Michael Bay does. So I'd like to say the Stunticons, but the truth is I don't want them going anywhere near my love characters.
How do you feel about $30 add-on kits that are for like a $10 toy?
I'm not into it. I'm not into upgrade kits. They're not my thing. I'd rather just wait for the third-party company to come along and make its own figure. Like when you start really breaking that stuff down, so you spend $15 for a Hasbro figure, and then you spend $30 for an upgrade kit. So now you're at $45. Let's say you buy Repro stickers, so now you're at $55. Well, now you're almost $20 away from just getting a third-party unit. A lot of them now are coming out around the $80 to $90 price point. So why not just get the third-party? Or, you know, the Masterpiece. Some of those you can get for between $50 and $60. You go through HLJ on one of those. So, like, just put up, set aside $10 and get the Masterpiece. At least get something that's going to be, you know, reputable, as opposed to these Hasbro products that are just not really well made out of good materials, and throw a $30 upgrade kit on it. You know what they say about polishing turds, right? Like it's that kind of a thing. So it's not really for me. I'd much rather see independent figures, independent designs, independent engineering, stuff like that. That's more of an art piece for me. It's more of an interesting thing to look at.
Can you do more reviews like Combiner Wars Minosaur, because that was hilarious?
Yeah, I mean, I catch a lot of heat for stuff like that, but if I come across something that's that bad, I'm definitely going to show you it's that bad, and I'm definitely going to make a complete mockery of it, for better or for worse. You know, people get upset with me personally because of my opinions on toys sometimes, but I'm not going to keep my opinion to myself. Like, I'm not going to have a quote-unquote humble opinion. I'm choosing to put it on YouTube, so I can't be that humble about it if I have it. So I'm going to put it out there, and if you don't like it, if you don't agree, then by all means you shouldn't watch. But, you know, there tends to be a lot of people that agree with kind of my point of view on stuff, so I'm going to do it. I haven't really come across anything that bad since.
Who is your favourite reviewer?
You know, I've been waiting for someone to ask this question. So I don't really watch a whole lot of Transformer reviews because I don't want it to kind of taint my my taste on something. Like, I don't want them to point out something that then, like, I wouldn't have pointed out had I not watched it, stuff like that. So when it comes to stuff that I'm not gonna get, and you know the big dogs all get it first, like, truth be told, I watch Peeve. Like, if I know I'm not gonna buy it, I watch this, because I think he just does a very black and white. This is the figure. This is what it does. This is what it's capable of, and then he moves on. And I think he does a pretty good job. So he's my go-to guy in the name of big-time reviewers. That's why it was funny when he came to me and thought there might have been a potential issue. I'm like, no, because you're the guy I watch. If I watch, you know, one of you guys, you know, you're the one I watch. So yeah, regular Transformer reviewers. A lot of times I'll watch. Let's see, I love John Gehringer's like comparison videos. I love T2RX6's like super analytical style and analysis of stuff. I watch Brave's toy reviews. I love the non-Transformer reviews that Brave does. The Transformer ones are fine too, but the non-Transformer ones, like, I love, because he takes a look at some interesting figures that I wouldn't normally ever take a look at. And my boy Matthew Deluxe Baldwin, I like to watch him. He plays with his figures on the floor, so I like to watch that. I get a kick out of that. So yeah, and you know, there's a few others, but my favorite reviewer is a guy named Anthony's Customs. He doesn't review Transformers. He reviews a lot of import stuff, and then a lot of like Hasbro mainline 6-inch figures. And him and I have similar sensibilities about stuff. I've never spoken to him or met him or anything, but he's a paint freak also, and he's he's very critical of Hasbro, and he's very appreciative of a lot of imported stuff, but he's also critical of it. And a lot of people like draw a line somewhere, but he doesn't. He's critical of everything, but he's appreciative of everything too. So it's a good dynamic. I think he's a great reviewer, and he's sponsored by BBTS, but he'll tell you if it's trash, which is admirable. Like I respect him for that. So that's he is my favorite reviewer, but he doesn't review Transformers. So in regards to Transformers, I watch the other guys.
When can we see the man cave?
I actually did a video doing a tour of my basement. It's called Yo DMH Cribs. I'll put the link in the description. It's been a while though. I know I need to update it, but I kind of wanted to finish this other part of my basement before I did it, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen for a year or two. So I'll do another one here shortly, but there's already one available. You can watch it below. Look, before we go, I want to make sure to thank the Forge Circuit. Make sure you check her out on Instagram. She takes a hell of a picture. She's an absolute sweetheart, and she's very bold for doing this type of a thing. And I know it's not easy. I've watched her footage. I know it's frustrating sometimes, and I'm very, very appreciative of all of her hard work and ethic that she does to help me out. And if there's ever anything I can do for her in return, I'd be more than willing. And so be sure to follow her on Instagram and let her know she's awesome, and thank her for helping your Uncle Skullface out, and thank you guys for participating and asking questions and watching and all that stuff. And I'll see you at 5,000. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.
Was it hard to get your wife and daughter? Will there be any other SCU refrigerator art cover? Refrigerator art. What the fuck is refrigerator art? Will we see this heated exchange in a theory session? Therapy session. Why would it be a theory session? Who would win in a fight? Skullface or Dr. Francis? Oh, I lost it on my iPad. There we go. And a kind of dot at the end. Have you ever thought about what? This one's a mouthful. Have you ever given any thought to what would happen to your collection after you pass? That's a bit morbid. Also, any plans on have you given any thought? Is there a worse figure than Dakar Toys Chronos? Is there a that's exactly how people feel about Chronos Dakar. Or Dakar, whatever it's called. Are you interested in doing live Ustreams like I think that's how you say his name. Are you interested in doing live stream? Are you interested in doing live? Are you interested in doing live? Are you interested in doing live Ustreams like Optima? Ever thought about doing a video of you just rambling through Transformers? Rambling through Transformers, because you can do that. I think I need a cup of tea.